Hey everybody, this is Brian from Carving is Fun, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my review on this excellent Great Eastern Cutlery number 62 pocket carver. Now, as this channel is all about carving, this video will be primarily focused on using this knife for whittling and wood carving. Now, like I said, this knife is the Great Eastern Cutlery number 62 pocket carver, but it is their farm and field version, which is a bit more of an affordable version compared to the regular number 62 pocket carver. It just doesn't have all the extra bells and whistles and a more basic handle to it. But this makes it a great option for someone who just wants a great knife, primarily for whittling, and not worry about putting wear marks on a more collectible, more expensive version of the knife. This is more like your everyday kind of use knife. Let's get into some of the details about the knife. The steel that they use is a 1095 carbon steel, and it has a Rockwell hardness of 57 to 59, which is on that lower bracket for where you want your whittling knives to be. It has a really good cutting edge from the manufacturer, but it does benefit from honing it up a little bit more with your leather strap, which is what I did with mine. I also was curious to see what would happen if I ground the edge back just a little bit, just to make it a little bit smaller of a cut angle on it, which did improve how sharp the knife was. So you can do that if you want. You don't have to. I just want to see how sharp I could get mine. It has really good edge retention even after doing the slight modification to the cutting edge. It lasts a long period of time. Now, this knife is a little bit more expensive than some of your other traditional pocket carvers. You can find them new between, I think, $84 and $90. It just depends on where you get it from, but I think it's still a really good price for what you're getting out of the knife. It's very, very well made, and I think it's well worth the price. Now, some of the things I really did like about the knife is that you get 3 blades on it right here. And one of the coolest things about it is that they actually gave you 2 of the same carving blades. These are both the same exact blades, so if you are whittling for a long period of time and you wear out one of the cutting edge in one of the carving knives, you can just switch over to the second one, and it's the same exact feel and when you're carving it, so you don't have to worry about adjusting to a different knife style. You have the same exact knife that you can just keep working with. And then even the main blade is a really good knife, and it's perfect for doing rough outs. I feel like it's just like, it's also a really good length for what you're doing. So it's not gonna be anywhere too big. You still have plenty of control when you're using the knife. If you want more detail and more control, you can use the smaller blades. The larger one is still a really good size for like normal whittling stuff. The edge grind on it, they do have a flat edge grind from back to front with a little secondary bevel on the front. I did grind my secondary bevel back just a hair. I just wanted to see if I can get a little bit more like a razor edge to it. But it's really, really good knife. And then when you get into the blade thickness, the blades are pretty good size. So they're not too terribly thick. Like if we compare it to the Flex Cut Whittling Jacket, which is the knife I carry with me and use for most of my wood carving stuff, you can see the blade is not too much thicker on the main portion, but the tip is pretty dang thin. But and then we start comparing to smaller carving blades. These blades are actually a little bit thinner than the Flex Cut ones, which give you great control and more detail to the knife, which is really nice. I do like this knife a lot. Another thing I really do like about it is it has really, really nice fit and finish to it, where there is no side-to-side blade wobble. The blades snap into place really nicely, so you don't have to worry about it getting soft or it accidentally closing up on your fingers. I don't think that's going to be a problem. It also has a little secondary stop, so I doubt it's going to close all the way in your fingers. It's usually going to stop right there before it closes all the way. No weird gaps along it, no strange finish marks or anything like that. It feels like that they grind it down at the end to fit really nicely to the handle that it's in. So it just feels like it's a very well finished knife. You don't have to worry about it feeling cheap like some of the other knives out there. And I do feel like you're getting what you pay for the fit and finish with the price. Even with the field and farm and field version of it, it may be the cheaper variant, but it still feels like a solid knife. Another thing I really like about it too is that it is a pretty comfortable knife to hold on to. It just fits your hand pretty nicely. It's pretty good for a nice little small and slim pocket carver, but yet it's big enough to fit some people with larger hands like me. So you don't have to worry about it just like disappearing in your hand or being too small to properly control while you're using it, which makes it pretty good for most people. The handles on the farm and field version are made of micarta. This one is the natural linen version. And one of the things I like about it is it's not a super slick panel to it. You actually have a little bit of grip to it, which helps you hold on to it a little bit better. So if your hand gets sweaty, like you're sweating, if you're whittling outside and it's hot out, you don't have to worry about the blade slipping out of your hand too easily, which is pretty dang cool. Another thing too that I really did like is I feel like that the number 62 pocket carver is more of a whittling focused pocket knife compared to some other knives out there. Like there are some other knives that are considered to be wood carving and whittling. This one though, it just felt like it's very well thought out for what it is. Like the blades are designed more for whittling, so you get your regular blade, which is Wharncliffe design. So that's pretty. You get that style, which is conducive for doing some good whittling, and then you get not one but two of the same carving knives, which are really nice. These knives, I like them a lot. Let's put it that way. They carve through the wood pretty dang well. I don't have to worry about them being too thick or splitting the wood, and they're also small enough where I can just add smaller details to the wood pretty easily. Now before I go over some of the parts I really didn't like about the knife, I wanted to let you know that I did do another video where I tested and compared a bunch of other different pocket knives and compared them against each other. Now this knife is not on there, but it's a great video to see some other great options and how they stack up against each other, so you can make a little bit better of a informed decision on what kind of a pocket knife you'd want to get for yourself. I'll have that video linked down below for you and at the end of this video as well, so you can check it out when you get the chance. Now some of the things I wasn't too terribly fond about the knife, now these are going to be more nitpicky because I just say this is a really good knife. If you want a really nice pocket knife for whittling, this is one of my favorite ones so far. But some of the things I didn't really like too terribly much. They're more like cosmetic. Like they etched the farm and field pocket carver on the blade. While it's cool on its own, but you can see that like from use and from stropping the blade, it's kind of starting to wear off at the bottom. So eventually that's going to disappear. It's kind of like one of those things where it makes me feel like, do I want to use this blade? Because I don't want that the etching there the wear off, but I know eventually it's going to go away. I don't really like that, I guess. I would rather have been right on the handle. That would have been nicer. But I guess it just looks cool on the blades. Another thing I didn't really like about it was it's primarily with the carving blades. They are not perfectly lined up. It's just off by a little bit. We're talking about like maybe I don't know, a couple millimeters at the most, but it's just slightly off. It's not anything concerning, it's more a cosmetic thing, but again, this is like their cheaper variants, so maybe their more expensive ones will have that resolved, but it's nothing detrimental at all. That's just like me being nitpicky. And another thing I kind of didn't like too much was, while the back of the handle is nice and flatly ground, I feel like they could have rounded these edges right here on the handle. They kind of, it's more like almost a 90-degree corner right there, and that corner kind of feels a little bit uncomfortable in the hands. It just depends on how you're holding it. I notice it mainly when I'm doing paring cuts. I feel it on these parts of my fingers, but it's nothing too terribly bad. I hardly notice it. It's one of those things where you have to put your hand in the right spot to feel it. And since I'm usually pushing on the back of the blade like this with my little thumb guard on there, I'm not noticing too terribly much. And another thing that might deter some people is the price. While it is the cheaper variant of the number 62, it is still above $80. So that still may deter some other people. There are other knives out there on the market that are really good that you can use for a little bit cheaper. Like my Flex Cut Whittling jack, I think I got it for $45. Really good knife. The only problem is this one is a bit harder to open compared to the Great Eastern Cutlery one, which is really easy. It's nice, snaps open, feels good in the hands. But still, I feel like you're still getting a good amount of knife for the money. It may be up there in price and out of the price range for some people, but if you want to afford this knife, it's a great option. I really like mine. Yeah, this is a great pocket knife for anyone who wants to start whittling, and you can just throw it right in your pocket. It's more like your traditional pocket knife that you can carry around with you. And it's as close to as perfect of a pocket knife as you can get for whittling. And it kind of has me debating if I want to carry this one with me over my Flex Cut whittling jack, which is the one that I primarily carry with me, but I'll have to keep using them both side by side and see which one I like more. I'm still liking my Flex Cut primarily because it has a bit of a wider handle and it feels more comfortable for me to hold on to. But that's just my personal preference. Y'all might like this knife a little bit better. I can tell you it's not a bad choice at all. It's a great knife. Now, like I said earlier, this channel is all about carving, and it's just a great way for me to share some of my wood carvings, stone carvings, and all the fun little tools I get to use along the way. So feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It lets me know that you all are enjoying them, and it keeps me motivated to keep making more. Get this thing finished up. I'm almost there. Yeah, that's about good right there. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have yourself a great day.